Did you know people hate when you burn forks and wrappers in your campfire? Come on a walk with us through a number of RV parks we've been to as we share 7 unwritten rules of campgrounds. Just like any community, there are written rules and things unspoken that you just don't want to do. Watch the whole video to make sure you're not the camper the whole park is talking about on your next vacation. Let's get started. Number 1 comes from the Fire Enthusiast. We've seen so many people burn improperly that this is a great place to start. Burning with wet firewood is the worst a neighbor could do near us. But we have been to many campgrounds where people bring in wet firewood that they can't burn hot that creates the thickest, smoldering smoke. Or parents let their brood throw wet leaves and grass in the fire. There's something about RVs that just collect the smoke, and you have to sleep in it all night. We also know people with conditions that will go into asthmatic episodes if the smoke is bad. But is burning garbage in your campfire worse? The fire smells and you are releasing toxic chemicals into the air you and everyone else breathes. Be kind to your neighbors and burn dry firewood and start it with good kindling and newspaper. Tend to your fire while it is lit to burn hot and thoroughly to limit smoke and extinguish your fire before abandoning it for the night. We have 6 more people to talk about. Which one are you? Are you the self-proclaimed campground DJ? We all know about this person. Most of the time, this is the guy that is blaring the likes of Lynyrd Skynyrd for all of us to enjoy. You know the time around 6 p.m. when you just finished grilling the perfect chicken and are sitting down at the picnic table to have dinner. The music comes on as the beers are flowing. You might be having a quiet conversation about your day or planning for tomorrow, but you look down at your meal and can't escape the irony that you are about to eat and he's playing Freebird at max level. This person can play anytime, and you watch and wait until quiet hours to see whether they turn their music down. When you want to listen to your music, consider other campers in the campground. Not everyone likes your music. We've found a good Bluetooth speaker on the picnic table or near the campfire provides greater sound at a lower volume than your RV can provide. Similarly, if you are watching TV, the Bluetooth speaker can be placed near you and connected to your TV so the sound doesn't have to travel from the TV to where you are seated. Ever been visited by the eager helper? This is the person that comes onto your campsite as you are trying to pull in to offer help. Anyone who has camped for more than a year knows that this person is more of an impediment to you successfully setting up your campsite. We all know if you have an RV or tent that there is a lot to do to set up camp. Usually your brood has roles and expectations and a process to park and make camp really well. Tell me, who has walkie-talkies to communicate just for parking your rig into a campsite? When this is interrupted by another person, it will waste time at a minimum and could cause damage or something to be forgotten. As you are breaking camp, a similar person can come up to you and start asking questions. For people breaking camp and getting ready to leave, there is a similar process that takes focus and complete attention. One cotter pin or the flip of a switch or removal of a plug that is missed could cause significant damage to your rig when pulling out or more serious damage and injury after you leave the campground. When people are parking and setting up camp and when they are breaking camp and pulling out, give them their time and don't interrupt. Also, if you are a beginner or need specific help, ask the campground staff or another camper. I think most anyone in the campground is eager to help. It's probably better to ask seasoned campground staff that can help personally or might offer to help you ask a seasonal camper they trust to walk over and help you with your task. We're about halfway through. What do you think of the campground views so far? We have many campground reviews in this walk and talk format so you can see as much of the campground as possible. Subscribe now so when you search your next campground, you'll find our comprehensive review in your feed. Who has witnessed the not-so-effective dog whisperer? We've seen this person in a few different ways while we're camping. First, while you're quietly walking your dogs through the campground, we have 2 labs that are well-behaved, credit to my wife, that I can handle with one hand while taking videos like these in the other hand. But, from out of nowhere, a dog comes running at you, barking uncontrollably until they find out they reach the end of their leash. Or have you ever had a dog just walk through your campsite unleashed and unattended? Where are their owners? We were at our campfire one evening and had a Chihuahua Malinois mix just come up and say hi. We figured it was a campground dog and thankfully it was pleasant and just went on its way. About an hour later, the owner frantically drove by in his Suburban looking for clues to locate his lost dog. He was a seasonal owner in the campground. We camp because we enjoy bringing our pets with us, but dogs are animals with free will. They're on a 6-foot leash with their owner and trained not to bark. Most of these issues are covered. We could go on, but as we work through our list, comment on unwritten rules we may have missed. Other campers, especially beginners, read these comments, and we can learn together. On to the next one. The need more power guy tends to upset tent campers the most. We really do empathize with the tent campers. Having a Class A motorhome, we try to reduce our effect on tent campers, but it's difficult. But running a generator all day and all night is clearly a violation of campground etiquette. This affects all campers in a couple of ways. First, the engine exhaust, if not exhausted well, will breathe in by everyone nearby, but the noise the generators create are polluting the campground too. If you need to run all of your electronics, consider a campground with electricity hookup or run your generator a couple hours during the day to recharge batteries and limit your electricity usage. The need more power guy may also be Mr. Light Show. This person is in their prime after dark. RVs these days have more lights than Walmart, and many campers like to show them all off. We've noticed the expansion from just incandescent porch lights outside doors to LEDs everywhere, and the results have been extraordinary. But the other item that creates a lot of light pollution are outdoor TVs. We've seen them get ever bigger and brighter. We've also seen the inflatable movie screens and have seen people pull out flat screens and set them up for the big game. But there's more. LED light ropes and undermounted ground effects have made lighting a campsite into some people's favorite hobbies. But many people in campgrounds are looking to watch the stars near a campfire. But the lights on by the campground and the lights put up by campers create so much light pollution that it blocks out the stars and satellites that people want to watch while they're having a quiet conversation by the campfire. But tent campers and pop-up and pop-out trailers don't have the ability to black out their setups. So these lights come into their sleeping area and prevent them from sleeping. Be mindful of the light pollution you are emitting from your campsite and turn off unnecessary lights after dark and use focus lighting as needed, with the light shielded to reduce the beam shining further than your campsite. We always carry LED lanterns and flashlights to, again, have the light locally where we need it, instead of rope lights or floodlights that shine across the campground. This next one I struggle with because breakdowns or other unforeseen circumstances can make you the late arriver. This is the person that arrives at the campground late at night. The later they arrive, the more of an etiquette violator they are. Most campgrounds have quiet hours starting at 10 p.m., so for the sake of this video, after 10 p.m. is frowned upon. The late arriver, who emulates this person the best, is the one with the loud exhaust and bright headlights that come into the campground and drive around a few times to find their spot. When they pull in, they shine their lights right at the campsite in front of them and yell at each other to get their rig parked. As they are setting up their rig, they leave their engine and headlights on while they use their impact driver to set their leveling jacks. Be mindful of your lights and use the least amount of light possible. We've seen some people pull in using their parking lights. Drive slow and turn off your engines as soon as you can. Consider doing the minimum and setting up camp in the morning. Manually set the leveling jacks or use a quieter drill. Do you think anyone arriving late should make a pit stop at a rest area or Walmart and pull in the next morning? If you're a beginner and want to learn more about campground life, watch this video next.